All right. Oh man, we are going to have an unbelievable day today. I was here last year, so if I look familiar, it's because I was here last year. You know, we're going to get to know each other today. It's going to be so much fun. There's so much information. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. There's so much information and connections and vibes and just all goodness. It's here today. And what you need to know about me is that I'm a planner. So when I was a kid, my dad took me aside. He taught me about planning. He said, hey, you know what? If you plan things, you plan them right, then they come true sometimes. So I planned a lot when I was in middle school. I planned out, you know, my high school career. When I was in high school, I planned my college career, where I was going to go, what I was going to major in, what activities I was going to do, sports and everything. I planned on meeting my wife before I left college. I planned on getting married about 26 years old, and that's exactly what happened. Everything that I planned seemed to just happen. I even planned exactly where I was going to take this picture on the day I got married, and it happened. It was like unbelievable. I planned on my career, so I love the water, and my wife and I moved to Florida, and I got to be a treasure hunter. You can do that? Yes. It was, you know, when you don't have kids, you can go do a lot of things. And so we love the water, we love the Keys, the whole aspect of it. And when you're married and you're a planner, it's even better because you get to plan with your wife and your goals and your hopes, and just the world is before you. And we thought, man, we're really happy. We're living the dream. And what can make us happier? Kids. Kids can make us happier. You want kids? Yeah, I want kids. Let's have kids. And so, you know, everything up till now went according to plan. So my wife and I thought, well, what are we going to start our family off with? We want a boy or a girl? Well, you know, I grew up with a bunch of boys. I wanted a son, but my wife, she has this beautiful round face. And when she's a kid, a little girl, that means she's got giant cheeks that fill that round face with huge dimples. And so we had a girl name. We're getting girl things. We're ready to go. Well, one day I woke up and there were 3 boys in my house calling me dad. So these are my boys. Jefferson, he's the older one, and then Tyler's the one with the LaDainian Tomlinson hat there. You could tell you could tell right off the bat we're local. So, and then my third boy Jeremiah. But our Tyler, our Jefferson, our firstborn was as precocious as can be. He was advanced. He was fast to talk, fast to grow, advanced in school, started him early, the whole 9 yards. And then Tyler came along, and he was polar opposite. So he's slow to talk, slow to walk, slow to advance. He's got these quirky behaviors, sensory things. He's always got something in his nose. He's always touching something. He's a bull in a china shop. We go places. He melts down a lot. Anytime we take him to a store, it's like we can't take him in there. You know, something's going to fall, something's going to break, and you'll also notice that in the first 10 years of our life with kids, there's no good family pictures, right? There's no good family pictures. This is a typical family picture. This is us trying to get out. We went to Yosemite, show our children Yosemite. Here, sir, could you please take this picture of our family? Oh, no problem. Just you know, it's like, you know, you're herding cats and then you get them and you hold them and you just take the picture. You know, they don't understand that the kid has like a millisecond where he might be still. And so all of our family pictures are either with myself and my boys or my wife and my boys. There's no good family pictures. So life at this time went from loving life to, wow, these kids are really a lot. We bit off way more than we can handle. And my wife, Robin, was taking Tyler to all these doctors. And he came home with all kinds of diagnosis. I mean, half of this stuff I'd never even heard of before. We'd never been in special needs. The thought of having a special needs child was totally foreign, and I was not accepting of it at all. But autism seemed to be the primary diagnosis. He was put in special classes, and we started, learning. This is the family picture we take for the first day of school to show all of our friends that we are happy and healthy and we are loving life. When in reality, life and our marriage was in the crapper. I mean, I cannot tell you how difficult this time in our life was. This is just a facade for what was really going on. Our son had an IEP, and things were not well. School wasn't doing well. He was not progressing. It was just a really difficult time, and Robin and I were not taking care of our marriage. We weren't taking care of ourselves. And the only thing I could do, the madness of the routine, go to work, do what you can. The school calls Robin. Your kid has done this, your kid has done that, come get him. Robin calls me. The madness was just, it was crazy, and it filtered into our marriage, and it was just bad. And the only thing I could do is to escape it all was sleep. So when we get the kids to bed, I couldn't wait to go to sleep, because sleep was my escape. So one night I'm sleeping. I'm in deep REM. And all of a sudden this bear jumps on top of me, and she says, "Look, Tyler has an IEP tomorrow. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing." And it slightly resembled my wife. And she said, "The school doesn't know what they're doing. The principal, the teachers, nobody knows what they're doing. Get up, we need answers. We got to find answers." And I dragged myself out of bed, and we spent the night talking, crying, being angry at the school system, angry at each other, angry at our neighbors, angry at God, angry at everybody. No one was exempt from our anger. We were just in a bad place. We were not coping well. And we went to that IEP meeting, and we had attorneys, which is, just the list goes on and on and on. I mean, there's 1,000 stories from these few years that we had that were just really difficult. And the IEP meeting didn't go very well, and we were in a zombie state. In fact, here's a picture of me when I stood up from that IEP meeting. 3.5 hours in that IEP meeting, and you're a zombie. I mean, it's really difficult. And then our marriage wasn't very well, so when I went home, this is a cartoon of what that's like. "Welcome back, sir. Are you planning on being our guest for one night only, or will you be here for your usual extended stay?" I was spending a lot of time in the doghouse, and the doghouse actually became pretty comfortable for me, because if you're in the doghouse, there's no communication, right? It's the silent treatment. And so for Robin and I at this time in our marriage, communicating was like this. So that's the alternative. I could come out of the doghouse if I wanted to, but then it's like that. And she felt the exact same way I did. But we just could not get it together. Every time I looked at my wife, I saw this. Every time she looked at me, she saw this. And this went on for far too long. And things, so we have our third son, Jeremiah, and he's starting to do some quirky behaviors, right? I had planned for that kid to follow in his oldest brother's footsteps. So he comes home one day after his evaluation, and he has an Asperger's diagnosis, right? So now I've got 2 kids on the spectrum. And we were, I kept wondering when we were going to hit rock bottom. Have we hit rock bottom yet? Because it just seems like it goes from bad to worse, and it just keeps going. We changed Tyler's behavioral plan, his BIP, right? We changed it, doesn't work. Change it, doesn't work. Things just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and our marriage was on the rocks. And I went to my mom one day, and I said, "Mom, Robin and I, we got to get away." You know what she said? She said, "Oh, you think? Grandmas know when there's trouble. And God bless grandmas, granddads, friends, family, who watch children so parents can get away, I said to my mom, listen, we're going to go away. We're going to go away for a week. And here's the rule. I don't care if my kids go to school. I don't care if they go to practice. I don't care if they go to piano. I don't care if they go to church. I don't care if they go anywhere, as long as they're alive when we get back. That's it. And Robin and I got away, and because we just wanted to be happy, and we went on a cheap Mexican vacation, right? Just get away. No buses, no schools, no kids, no phone, no electronics, no nothing. Just the two of us. And we worked things through, right? There was no stressors from the outside world. We just went to a place where we had nothing, and we reminded each other of the person that they married before we brought in the chaos. So one of the things, so I mentioned that sleep was my escape, but my therapy became writing. So we went to a lot of conferences. We went to studies. We logged behaviors from our kids. We did all kinds of stuff. And during those times, I wrote about what was working and what wasn't, what we liked and what we didn't like and why. And I do more research and more research. It's just the way I am. And I brought these materials with us to Mexico. So after a day or two, when we decided that we liked each other, and then that we loved each other again, we started working. Hey, look, we've got to change. We've got all kinds of things that we need to do. We need to figure out, look, this is who we are now. Reality check. Creating memories. We wanted life to be fun and happy, so we need to figure out how we're going to do that. IEP meetings. Whoa, these things are important. These meetings are huge. Mama bear, Papa bear. How do I handle stress? What's it like living with me when everything is going bad? And what can I do, or what can my wife do to turn these things around? How to deal with each other? Getting my butt kicked all over the place. How tough can I be in these situations? The teachers, antecedents, priorities, POGs. You guys know what a POG is? Parents only getaway. All right, you gotta do POGs. And so we started changing everything we did, and it was difficult. I mean, it was really hard. Look, let's just do, all right, everybody fold your arms. Just fold your arms where you are. You know, when you fold your arms and you don't think about it, you fold them the exact same way every single time. Okay, do opposite. Doesn't that feel a little weird, right? 10 out of 10 times, and it's the same thing when you do this, right? Put your hands together. What thumb is on top? My left thumb is on top. But the left thumb is on top every single time, 10 out of 10 times, unless I think about it, unless I change it, right? So we had bad habits, and now we had to make good habits, and it took time, and it took energy, and it took courage. So as things started to change, we became happier and happier. We focused on ourselves, we focused on our marriage, focused on our kids, and we started changing little things, and they worked. And we became shiny, happy parents. Happy parents, that's what we wanted to be in the first place. And now we were finally getting there. We're getting to that moment. And my wife said to me, hey, Rick, we're on a POG, of course. And she says, I think it's time to go back to our original plan. What do you mean? What do you mean our original plan? You know, the original plan. Remember, I still have that girl's name. Oh, you want to have another kid? Well, we got 2 kids in special needs. And we can't make a girl. We tried 3 times to make a girl. We cannot make a girl. And we were in a good place, and we went for it. We had another child, and I'm telling you, it is the first thing in years that went according to plan, and we got her. Oh, sorry. We got her. That was poor timing. Big cheeks, the blonde curly hair, everything exactly. And we were really very happy. So we had our 3 boys, and then we got our little girl, and we're just really happy. And now when we post a family picture on Facebook, we're really happy. And then one day my wife says, hey, Summer, so her name's Summer, right? We got our hippie name. And she says, Summer needs a playmate. She'll have a playmate. No, she needs a friend. She says, the boys are up here, and there's this big gap between the boys and the girl. No. And then I thought, you know what? We're in a good place. We're doing well. We love our kids. We love our family. We've got a girl. We'll just get a clone of her, right? We've got the girl clothes, got the girl room. We'll just do another girl. So we went ahead and planned accordingly, and guess what we got? We got Eli. And Eli has Down syndrome and autism and is the light of our life. And I can't tell you, there's no more kids, by the way. We're stopped there. But I can't tell you, with the foundation that we made from that trip in Mexico, all those little things that we started to change, how things worked out. And there's plenty of trial and error. I mean, you know, our lives, it's a roller coaster, right? We're up, we're down. And but we were really happy. In fact, my wife and I, just last fall, we celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary. Thank you. Here's a picture of us on that night that we celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary. But don't you feel like that sometimes? Don't you feel like that? So I wrote a book, and it's called Keep It Together, Man, for Dads with a Special Kid. And it's everything that I wish one of you would have sat me down 14 years ago and said, look, here's what you need to know, and here's what you don't need to know. Here's what you can get rid of, and keep this. And it's the trial and error. Plus, I have a hard time keeping anything serious, so the book's pretty funny. But it's been huge for us. And in any case, one of the great things about writing a book is you get a lot of feedback. And I love the feedback. Finding out what works for people, what doesn't work.